The alien princess believed her husband was ordinary until he drew out, "Best HFY Stories, the sun sank low over the horizon of Varion." 9. Casting long golden shadows across the desert town. Dust swirled gently in the warm evening breeze, and the neon signs of the small frontier outpost flickered to life. Lyria walked through the narrow streets, still stunned by what she had witnessed during the festival. Jonas Ryder, her seemingly ordinary husband, had revealed a side of himself she had never imagined. Calm, precise, and almost effortless, he had stopped the raiders with nothing more than a simple energy lasso. She kept her hands clasped tightly behind her back, her heart racing with a mix of pride and confusion. She had married a man who appeared simple, honest, and peaceful, a man she could understand and trust. And yet, in a matter of moments, that image had been shattered. Who was Jonas really? The town was quiet now, the chaos of the day replaced by the soft hum of generators and distant chatter. Lyria entered their modest home, a simple structure of metal and wood with a view of the endless desert dunes. Jonas was sitting on the small porch, a cup of steaming liquid in his hands. He didn't even glance up as she approached. "You're thinking too much," he said finally, his voice calm. "You always do." Lyria narrowed her eyes. "Do you have any idea what people saw today? What I saw?" Jonas tilted his head, studying the sunset. "I did what I had to, that's all." "You think it is something more, but sometimes simple solutions are enough." Lyria shook her head, frustrated. "Simple?" "Jonas, you stopped a group of trained raiders. They had weapons, strategy, even some strange devices I don't understand. And you? You just walked into the middle of them and..." She stopped, unable to finish the sentence. Jonas finally looked at her, his eyes calm but unreadable. "You think that is extraordinary," he said softly. "Maybe. Or maybe it's just what humans can do when we have to." Lyria frowned. She had never heard anyone speak about humans that way, even in legends. Most alien civilizations, including the Thrin Empire she came from, considered humans weak, slow, and predictable. And yet, she had just seen the opposite. Over the next few days, the town settled into a quiet routine. Lyria tried to return to normal life, but she could not stop thinking about the raiders and Jonas's hidden abilities. She spent her mornings walking through the dusty streets, observing the townspeople and trying to imagine how Jonas could fit into this world. Every small detail reminded her of the incident. The way Jonas moved, the calmness in his eyes, even the faint scars on his hands. One evening she followed him into the outskirts of the settlement, where the desert stretched endlessly under a sky sprinkled with stars. Jonas was setting up a small campfire, carefully arranging the stones around it. "Why are you following me?" he asked without looking up. I want to understand," Lyria admitted. "I saw what you did. I need to know how." "Why you? Why humans?" Jonas smiled faintly, a shadow of amusement crossing his face. "You want secrets? That is dangerous. I don't care," Lyria said firmly. "I need to know." Jonas finally looked at her, the firelight reflecting in his eyes. "Humans are different," he said slowly. "We are not just one thing. We adapt. We survive. We learn. You saw one part of it, the part that shows under pressure, but there is more. There is always more." Lyria stepped closer, her curiosity burning brighter than fear. "Show me. Tell me." Jonas shook his head. "Not yet. The world is not ready. And maybe you are not ready either." But as the night deepened, strange things began to happen in Varian. 9. A series of disturbances in nearby settlements made news. Raiders attacking supply caravans, communications intercepted, and sightings of mysterious, shadowy figures in the desert. Lyria listened to the reports with growing concern. The raiders from the festival were not acting alone. Something larger was moving against them, and she feared it was connected to Jonas. The next day, Lyria accompanied Jonas to the town council, a small group of settlers who managed the fragile peace on the frontier. The council was tense. The rumors of organized attacks unsettled everyone. "We need to prepare," said the mayor, a gruff alien with bright green skin and 4 fingers on each hand. "We cannot survive another raid like last week." Jonas nodded silently, his eyes scanning the horizon. Lyria watched him, noting the calm confidence he radiated. Unlike the settlers who were panicking or arguing, Jonas seemed in control. She wondered what secrets he carried and how far he would go to protect this place. That evening, while the town slept, Jonas led Lyria on a walk across the dunes. The stars above were bright, and the air was cool. He stopped at a rocky outcrop, gesturing for her to sit. "Look," he said quietly, "the Raiders are part of something bigger. There are groups who want to control humans, or eliminate them entirely. They know humans are unpredictable, dangerous. And I'm on their radar because of what humans can do when pushed." Lyria felt a chill run down her spine.
"They want to hunt humans?"
"Just because of what we are," Jonas nodded. "Yes, and they will not stop. But humans have a way of surprising everyone, especially those who think we are weak." For the first time, Lyria understood something vital about her husband. He was ordinary in appearance, but the human spirit was something alien civilizations could not easily measure. It was resilience, intelligence, and unpredictability all combined, a force that could turn the tide in impossible situations. Over the next few weeks, Jonas began to teach Lyria small lessons about human intuition and strategy. They practiced simple exercises, reading patterns, anticipating moves, improvising solutions to challenges. Lyria found herself learning more than she ever had in royal training. She realized that Jonas's strength was not just in his physical skill, but in his understanding of the world, his ability to remain calm under pressure, and his unwavering focus. One day, while they were observing the dunes, they noticed a figure approaching from a distance. At first it seemed like a lone traveler, but as it drew closer, the unmistakable insignia of the raiders appeared on its armor. The stranger stopped at the edge of the settlement, scanning the horizon. Jonas's eyes narrowed slightly. "They're watching us," he said softly. "They want to test me again, or maybe find out what I can do." Lyria gripped his arm. "Do you have to face them alone?" Jonas shook his head. "No, I never face anything alone. But you must trust me." That night, the settlement prepared for another possible attack. The town was tense but ready. Lyria stayed close to Jonas, observing his calm demeanor. He moved among the townspeople, offering advice, checking defenses, and quietly inspiring confidence. She realized that humans, even without alien technology, had something unique, the ability to unite, to innovate, and to persist. As the stars rose high in the sky, Lyria sat beside Jonas once more. "I don't understand everything," she admitted. "I thought I knew you, but I see now there is so much I cannot see." Jonas smiled faintly, reaching out to hold her hand. "That is the human way," he said. "Always more to learn, always more to see. And sometimes what seems ordinary is extraordinary. You will understand, Lyria. You will see it fully soon." And she believed him. The horizon shimmered faintly, a subtle glow in the distance that neither of them recognized. Lyria's eyes widened. Jonas noticed it too. "Someone is coming," he said quietly. "And this time, they will not leave without a challenge." For the first time, Lyria felt the thrill of the frontier in its purest form. Danger, uncertainty, and the promise of discovery. And she knew, deep in her heart, that Jonas was not just a man from a simple human town. He was the key to something larger, something that could change the way the galaxy saw humanity forever. As the night deepened, the desert whispered with secrets yet to be revealed, and the human spirit waited quietly, ready to show its true strength. The desert dawn arrived slowly over Varion, 9 painting the dunes in soft shades of orange and gold. The town, quiet for now, hummed with the distant sounds of machinery and the occasional clatter of boots on metal walkways. Lyria sat on the edge of the porch, her eyes tracing the horizon, where a faint shimmer suggested movement, something unnatural. Jonas appeared beside her, carrying a bundle of supplies. "Morning," he said softly, though his voice carried no warmth. There was focus in his expression, a quiet energy she had come to recognize in times of threat. "You know what's out there," Lyria said, nodding toward the shimmer. "It's them again." Jonas set the supplies down and sighed. "Yes. And this time, they aren't testing. They're coming for answers." Lyria shivered. In the days since the raider attacks, she had watched Jonas act with calm precision, guiding the townspeople to strengthen defenses, teaching them simple strategies and staying a step ahead of danger. Yet even as she admired him, a part of her could not help but feel that the truth of his abilities remained hidden. Today, she decided she would demand answers. "Jonas," she began, her voice firm, "I need to know everything. I've seen you fight. I've seen how you move. I need to understand why humans are different." Jonas paused, looking out toward the shimmering horizon. After a long moment, he spoke. "You are ready to know, but it is not simple. Humans, we are not just what we appear to be. We are shaped by challenges, by struggle, by the unknown, Our strength is in our minds, our instincts, and the choices we make under pressure. It is unpredictable. Lyria frowned, frustrated by the vagueness. Show me, then. Teach me. Jonas nodded and led her out of the settlement, guiding her to a rocky plateau overlooking the desert. From this vantage point, the desert stretched endlessly, and far in the distance, shadows shifted, moving like ghosts. Watch carefully, he instructed. Not everything is strength. Sometimes survival is about seeing what others cannot, predicting what they will do before they do it. For the next hour, Jonas demonstrated. He moved through the terrain silently, using the environment to his advantage, avoiding detection by small patrols of raiders that appeared on the horizon. Lyria tried to follow, mimicking his movements, but she stumbled over loose sand and rocks, her every attempt revealing her inexperience. Jonas paused, crouching beside her. It's not about being faster or stronger, he explained. It's about understanding patterns, anticipating behavior, and using your environment. A human can turn almost any situation to their advantage. Lyria's eyes widened. So, it's all instinct? Jonas shook his head. Partly instinct. Mostly strategy. But what makes humans truly dangerous is adaptability. We do not follow strict rules. We improvise. We innovate. That is why aliens underestimate us. They expect predictability, but we are anything but predictable.
Lyria studied him closely.
The man she had believed to be ordinary was revealing a truth far greater than she had imagined. She remembered the festival attack, the calm way he had faced danger, and the way he had used the town's simple tools to overcome superior technology. Every memory of that day now made sense. Then that means you're not just a rancher, she said quietly. Jonas smiled faintly. No, and neither are you, Lyria. You may be royal, but leadership without understanding is nothing. Humans may appear simple, but we survive, and sometimes we thrive where others fail. A sudden shimmer in the distance drew their attention. A group of raiders had appeared at the edge of the dunes, their movements coordinated and deliberate. They carried strange devices that glowed faintly under the morning sun. Jonas's expression grew serious. They are organized, he said, and they are looking for me. Lyria felt a knot in her stomach. Why you? Jonas glanced at her. Because I am human. They know what humans can do, even if they do not understand it fully. I am a test, a warning, and a target. And now, you must see it for yourself. Without further explanation, Jonas moved forward, drawing a simple energy lasso from his belt. It glowed faintly, almost alive in his hands. Lyria watched, breathless, as he approached the raiders with calm confidence, each step deliberate. The raiders noticed him, stopping abruptly. Their leader, taller and more heavily armored than the others, raised a hand, signaling his group to attack. But Jonas did not run. Instead, he shifted, ducked, and weaved between attacks, his movements almost a dance, fluid, precise, and uncatchable. Lyria gasped as she realized what she was witnessing. Jonas was using more than instinct or strength. He was predicting their every move, adapting in real time to their strategies. One raider lunged with a weapon, and Jonas sidestepped, using the attacker's momentum to spin him into the sand. Another raider tried to flank him, and Jonas disappeared behind a ridge, reappearing instantly to intercept. The battle was brief but breathtaking. When it ended, the raiders lay disarmed and confused, while Jonas stood untouched, his energy lasso coiled at his side. Lyria ran to him, her heart pounding with a mix of fear, pride, and awe. How did you do that?" she asked, almost whispering. Jonas looked at her with a rare seriousness. "I told you, Lyria, humans are unpredictable. We combine instinct, strategy, and improvisation. We adapt. That is why we survive, why we fight, why we endure. And sometimes that is why we are stronger than anyone expects." For the first time, Lyria saw her husband not as an ordinary man, but as a symbol of human potential. She realized that his calm demeanor, his quiet strength, and his patience were all part of a deeper skill, one that could challenge entire civilizations if pushed. The raiders recovered slowly, retreating into the desert. Their leader glanced back, his eyes narrowed. "He is more than human," he muttered. "He is a weapon." Lyria's pulse raced. "A weapon?" Jonas's gaze turned distant, thoughtful. "Not a weapon in the way they think. Humans are not tools. But when forced, we can achieve what others cannot. That is what scares them. That is what makes us extraordinary." The town soon heard of the encounter. Whispers spread through the streets, tales of a man who moved like the wind and defeated foes without harming them seriously. Lyria noticed the way people looked at Jonas now, with respect, curiosity, and a touch of awe. At night, she found him on the porch again, staring at the stars. She sat beside him, feeling the weight of everything she had learned. "Jonas," she said softly, "I understand now. You are more than I ever imagined. Humans are capable of so much." He smiled faintly. "Yes. And now you understand why we must always be ready. The galaxy is watching, and those who underestimate us will be surprised." Lyria leaned her head against his shoulder. "I always believed in you, but now I see that believing is not enough. I need to learn. I need to understand humans fully." Jonas nodded. "Then we will teach you, together. And when the time comes, you will see everything. The truth is not just in fighting, it is in thinking, adapting, and staying calm when the world expects chaos." The desert night was quiet, yet Lyria could feel the tension in the air. Something larger was moving across the galaxy, something that would not stop until humans had been tested, and Jonas had proven what they were capable of. But Lyria no longer felt fear. She had seen the extraordinary in the ordinary. She had watched her husband draw out power that no alien could predict, and she knew that the frontier, this dusty town on the edge of the galaxy, was the beginning of a story far larger than herself. The stars shimmered above, silent witnesses to the secrets yet to unfold, and Lyria, beside Jonas, felt a spark of hope and awe. The human spirit, unpredictable and adaptable, was ready to face whatever challenges the galaxy might send next. The desert whispered in the night, carrying the promise of new revelations, new challenges, and the certainty that nothing, no alien, no danger, no test, could truly prepare the galaxy for what humans were capable of. The morning sun rose over Varian. 9. Painting the desert in soft oranges and golds. The town's neon lights had faded, leaving only the natural glow of the dunes, yet the peace was fragile. Jonas stood atop a ridge, his eyes scanning the horizon. Far in the distance he could see movement, dozens of raiders marching across the sands, their devices glinting under the sun. Lyria joined him, her cloak catching the light. She had spent the night learning from Jonas, absorbing everything he had taught her about strategy, observation, and human adaptability. Now, standing beside him, she understood the stakes. This was no simple raid. It was an organized attack, designed to test the full extent of human capability. "They're coming faster than I expected," Jonas said quietly, his calm voice hiding a sharp edge of concern. "We need to act before they reach the town." Lyria nodded. "Then we'll fight together. I'll help you lead the defense." Jonas gave her a small smile. "Good. But remember, it's not just about strength. It's about thinking ahead, using what we have, and staying unpredictable." The townspeople were ready. Barricades had been reinforced with metal scraps. Energy shields lined the outer edges of the settlement, and sentries kept watch from towers. Yet even as the town braced, a sense of unease lingered. The raiders were disciplined, moving with the precision of a trained army, but Jonas's calm presence inspired confidence. As the first raiders approached, Jonas stepped forward, drawing his energy lasso. Its glow pulsed faintly, casting a soft light over the sand. Lyria stayed close, observing, ready to assist wherever she could. The raiders reached the outskirts of the town and paused. Their leader, the same tall figure who had confronted Jonas before, raised his hand. "Rider," he called, his voice carrying across the sands. "Come out. This is not a playground. Surrender now, and no harm will come to your people." Jonas shook his head. "I don't surrender, and my people are not yours to threaten." A tense silence followed, broken only by the faint hum of the raiders' devices. Then, as if on signal, they advanced. Jonas moved with fluid precision, weaving between attackers, using the terrain to his advantage. Lyria watched, heart pounding, as he redirected the raiders' momentum against them. One charged forward with a weapon, and Jonas sidestepped, flipping the attacker gently into the sand. Another tried to sneak from the side, only to find Jonas waiting, a faint energy pulse disarming him without causing serious harm. "This is incredible," Lyria whispered to herself. "He's using everything he's taught me. Instinct, strategy, adaptability." But Jonas was not alone. He had trained Lyria to notice patterns, anticipate movements, and act when needed. She guided the sentries, pointing out blind spots and suggesting maneuvers. The town worked as one, a small human and alien alliance strengthened by her leadership. The battle escalated. The raiders adapted, coordinating attacks and sending more fighters forward. But Jonas remained calm. Each move he made seemed effortless, a combination of intelligence and instinct that no raider could predict. He did not fight recklessly. He fought strategically, ensuring that the town and its people remained safe while gradually driving the raiders back. During a brief pause in the fighting, the raider leader confronted Jonas directly. He raised his weapon, but Jonas was ready. In a swift motion, he disarmed the leader, sending the weapon spinning across the sand. The leader froze, recognizing that brute force alone could not defeat this human. "You are extraordinary," the raider leader muttered, disbelief in his voice, more than any report suggested. "How is this possible?" Jonas looked at him calmly. "Humans are simple in appearance but complex in action. We survive, adapt, and outthink those who expect weakness. That is our power." Lyria stepped forward, standing beside Jonas. "And we are not just one person," she said. "We are a community."
"We protect each other. We fight together."
The raider leader hesitated. In that moment, he realized that his assumptions about humans were wrong. He signaled his forces to retreat. The remaining raiders fled across the dunes, leaving the town untouched. The town erupted in cheers. The people rushed to Jonas and Lyria, expressing gratitude and admiration. Lyria felt a surge of pride, not just for Jonas, but for the human spirit she had witnessed in action. She realized that what she had once considered ordinary was actually extraordinary, and that humans were capable of far more than alien civilizations could imagine. Later, as the sun set and the dust settled, Lyria and Jonas walked through the town. The streets were quiet now, but the energy of victory lingered. Lyria looked at Jonas, her eyes shining. "You were right," she said softly. "Humans are extraordinary, and now I understand why I married you." Jonas smiled, his usual calm expression softened by warmth. "And I am glad you see it. But remember, this is just the beginning. The galaxy is larger, more complex, and full of surprises. Humans have much to teach and much to prove." Lyria nodded. She had seen firsthand the strength of adaptability, the power of calm under pressure, and the unbreakable spirit of humans. She had learned to trust not only Jonas but also the potential within herself. The next morning they rode across the dunes together, side by side. The desert stretched endlessly, a canvas of gold and shadows, and the sky was painted with colors that promised adventure. The frontier was far from quiet, but Lyria no longer felt fear. She felt excitement, curiosity, and determination. "They will come again," she said, her voice thoughtful. "Other factions, other threats. The galaxy is watching." Jonas nodded. "Yes, but now we are ready. We know what humans can do, and we will face whatever comes. Together." They rode in silence for a while, the wind carrying the sounds of the desert and the faint hum of distant technology. Lyria reflected on the journey so far, her doubts, her fears, and the revelations about her husband and humanity. The ordinary had become extraordinary, and the frontier had become a place of discovery and hope. As night fell, stars blanketed the sky. The desert was quiet, yet it felt alive, full of possibilities. Lyria and Jonas stopped atop a ridge, looking down at the town they had protected. The people below were safe, their lives untouched by the violence that had threatened them. "This is just the start," Jonas said quietly, his gaze on the horizon. "There are more challenges ahead, but now we know we can face them." Lyria took his hand, squeezing it gently. "I believe that too, and I know humans are stronger than anyone thinks, including aliens." Jonas smiled faintly. "And one day the galaxy will see it too." In the distance, a faint shimmer flickered among the dunes. It could have been another threat, or a new opportunity. But Lyria and Jonas did not flinch. They had faced danger, learned from it, and emerged stronger. They were ready. The desert whispered around them, carrying the promise of more adventures, more discoveries, and more tests of human resilience. And as they rode side by side, Lyria felt certain that nothing could truly prepare the galaxy for the power of the human spirit. Calm, adaptable, and unexpectedly extraordinary. The frontier had been tested, the raiders defeated, and humanity had shown its strength. Lyria and Jonas looked up at the stars, ready for whatever the vast universe might send next. And somewhere, far across the galaxy, the whispers of humans' extraordinary potential began to spread. Rumors that would one day change the way alien civilizations viewed them forever.